Okay, I would like to present you this book, Carsten Mueller, Attack, Rules of Thumb for Practice. The book is by JBV Chess Books. I like these books because they all come with a bookmarker, and I must remember to put this site in some of the videos that I publish about their books, because I always forget. I can never find the site. I don't know why, and it's very bad for me. What is great about this book? Well, first of all, there are 10 chapters teaching you about everything about attacking with exercises. But the great, really, innovation of this book is the QR code. Practically, also, if you don't have a chessboard, you can follow the games on your smartphone or your tablet. I generally use a tablet, and it's really beautiful because I can do everything also when I'm commuting, for example, if I'm not driving. So that is the great thing, that you can study chess just thanks to this QR code. I will there are many exercises, and there are, of course, the solution to the exercises and many games that you should. Here, for example, the exercises, and then, of course, there are the solutions with the QR codes. And I want to show you the games of the author, because the last chapter, chapter 10, is selected attacking games by the author. So there are a total of 3 games in this chapter. Carsten Mueller says, with the following victory, I celebrated my 30th birthday. He was white, Mueller Carsten, against Sielecki Christoph in Germany, 2000. Sielecki Christoph is also a famous book author of opening books. E4, E6, D4, D5, knight d2, c5, knight g f3, a6, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, bishop d3, knight f6, queen e2, knight c6, castle, queen c7, and c3. There is the other main line here, that is a3, okay? Bishop d7, the famous bad bishop of the French. E takes d5. This move is considered dubious, and the author writes, this exchange in the center is probably a bit premature. White should first wait and see, for example, with 10 h3. But why the exchange is premature? Because the idea is that generally you want to keep the tension, and the other thing you don't want to do sometimes is open the line for that bishop. In this case, luckily, it wasn't possible because the queen is in the center. So we understand that the author did it because he wanted to try to attack the enemy king. So he takes d5, knight takes d5, knight e4, bishop e7, and here another dubious move, g3. It was played to prevent this move, knight f4, okay? This presents knight f4, but the light squares around the king are weakened too much. e5, bishop c4, and the knight b6. Okay, so let's put this on silence. Bishop b3, castle, and knight fg5. Here black played h6. Notice that here the author says that this move, bishop e8, fails. Okay? Can you guess why? Here there is a big analysis by the author, but it's interesting to know because it teaches us how to attack. So try to pause the video and find out why this bishop e8 as defense is not working. It seems there is a sacrifice. Knight takes h7, king takes h7, queen h5, king g8, and now there is another great move, maybe a little difficult to find, only visualizing, bishop h6. At this point, black has 3 possible different moves, okay? So it's possible that it's a little difficult to see all of this by visualization without moving the pieces, but that's what we generally do in a tournament game. So I will show you just one of the lines, because it's the one that is the longest and it's the one that ends up with a decisive advantage. The 4th line also ends up with a decisive advantage for white, and the line number 3 in reality ends with a checkmate. So this is line number 2, probably the one made by a computer that really is not trying to give up. Knight d4, amazing move. C takes d4, g takes h6, queen g6, king h8, queen take h6, king g8, rook ac1, bishop c6, knight g5, bishop takes g5, queen takes g5, king h8, queen h6, king g8, and rook f e1. And here the author stopped the line at move 26, saying that white has a decisive advantage. Okay, I will pause the video for a second and return back to the position that we had before this analysis. Okay, this was the position where black played h6 instead of this defensive attempt bishop e8, okay? So h6, but now it's white. You should try to pause the video and see what would you play as white. Of course, if you have read all the examples of this book, probably you would know it already. Knight takes f7, rook takes f7, bishop takes f7, king takes f7, queen h5, king g8, and now you can guess from the previous analysis how things are going. Boom, bishop take h6. So it seems that you see, while you are watching these games that are all about attack, you should also think about the defense. If you were black, what would you play? Because here there is, for example, a diagram, right? Which means the author is telling you, try to put yourself in black shoes for a minute. What would you play? Because that can really improve your game too. it seems that black played g take h6, which is a mistake. Instead, the right move was rook f8. Okay, imagine that. So you can actually win games or draw games if you are able to be good also in the defense. And the fact that this is a book about attack, it doesn't deter you from the thinking that maybe you could save half of these games if you were good defending. Okay, queen g6, king h8. If he played this, white would play this. Okay, that's logical. Queen takes h6, king g8, queen g6, king h8, and now obviously white plays this the same, because he needs to bring other pieces into the attack, and these two bishops are kind of powerful at screening them. Here the authors wrote, "I'm not satisfied with perpetual check. Instead, I want to deploy fresh troops like the f-pawn and the rooks." So there was another mistake here, no? And also here you need to pause and try to find the best defense for black. I think this exercise and this book will teach you also a lot about defense. So black played queen d8, not good. This is a mistake. Okay. Another mistake was e takes f4, so not good. Try to analyze why. Okay. Here there are big analyses about that. But another grandmaster, Rainer Buhmann, found the following defense: rook f8. And this seems the move which limits the white advantage. Okay. However, again, there is a couple of columns of analysis. Please follow them up. So, queen d8, queen h6, king g8, f takes e5. And here black resign. Why did black resign? Well, there are two lines given by the author. One is with knight takes e5 and the other with bishop e8. Okay, I will give you the one with knight takes e5. Then of course when you buy the book you can read the other line. Knight f6, bishop take f6, rook takes f6, queen e7, queen g5, queen g7, queen takes e5, rook e8, and now there is the final move of this line, which is queen d6 with decisive advantage for white. As you can see, white has 5 pawns. So what this tells us is that if all the pieces would be exchanged, white would just win by pushing the pawns. Okay, so that's interesting. However, what I advise you, because this is in reality the most important part that you could have from this book, since you have a QR code. Okay, so try to get the QR code, reach that position, and start to play it against an engine and see if you are able to convert or no into a won endgame or into a won game up to the end, because generally engines are really strong, and also when they give you a material advantage, if you just make a little mistake you will pay. So I wish you well in this endeavor, but try to do this exercise. And I would like to show you also another game from this book, because I like to see how Carsten plays chess, because I never saw it. I saw all his books, but I didn't see many of his games.